Hello creative friends, welcome back to this series, Audiobook and Crafts. The series in which we are trying to manage life and work and try to find meaning in a meaningless world. So we are crafting and listening to audiobooks because if you're like me, and you probably are if you're watching this, well, you have a 9 to 5 and you're too exhausted to read physical books when you come back home, but you also want to do something in your free time, and so you're here. I don't want to scroll my phone, but in the meantime I would really like to do something, but in the meantime I don't have the energy to do anything. You're in the right place, my friend. You are right where you're supposed to be. I am exactly like you. I am an exhausted little person who is trying to navigate life while also creating little stuff. Like that's all I want to do. I want to plug in a little audiobook, and then I want to create things. So welcome to this week's video. I'm so happy that you're here. Now let's get on with the project. Yesterday I went to the charity shop and I bought 3 of these. So it's basically bedwear, and I will transform that either on very cheap fabric I can be testing patterns on, or in this case in particular, because it is white all the way, I will be transforming this. This is the pattern for a pajama, like a pajama top and bottom, and that is a lot of paper, and since I didn't print it on A0, it has all of this to stick it together, so it's a lot when I'm trying to work with it. So the first order of business for today is to transform this into the pattern. So I'm going to be cutting each and every single piece and writing everything that needs to be written onto this. This is what it looks like, and when I'm folding them, a whole pattern fits in a little square, and so I can put it in an envelope and store it. Let me tell you all about the audiobook that I'm currently listening to, because I have made a lot of progress. It is only a 4-hour audiobook, so it didn't take me long to get halfway through this, but I'm currently listening to We Speak Through the Mountains by Primi Mohammed, and it is actually the second book in a trilogy. The first one being A Migration of Clouds. And in this story, we are following this person that is called Reed, that is accepted into a really prestigious academy. The problem is, it's basically a post-apocalyptic story. So, she's living in a community that has found a way to survive all the terrible environmental changes that happened in this world. And so she has this acceptance letter, and she's like, will I go? Will I not be able to go? What will happen if I do? And what will happen if I don't? And so we are looking through her world, and we are following her thoughts in everything she does after receiving this acceptance letter. So book 1 was really nice. It was very interesting. I'm listening to book 2, and at least where I'm at in the story, it's even better. So I am happy about it. The only complaint I have is that it is not an audiobook that you can binge read. You have to really slow your pacing, and you have to truly listen, because there is so much thoughts and ideas developed in this book. For example, where I'm at, there is a lot of scientific references to what is happening that are close to what is happening today. It is not heavy in the science. I am a biologist, so I understand everything, but for me, it was easily understandable by everybody. So it's not something that is purely... I hope you didn't hear the coffee machine. This is not something that is purely made for a specific type of person. Like, it is not something purely made for scientists. But the scientific aspect of the end of the world is so well developed and so easy to grasp that it is frightening, to say the least. It is really horrifying to read all of that, well, to listen to all of that and be like, well, that could happen, and maybe it will. And so what do we do with this information? Like, what should we do? And that is a really cool reflection on everything. And it asks a lot of questions. It doesn't give the answer. I am liking this book. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for a book like that, probably it would be better to read it rather than listen to it. But I don't have the mental capacity to stop and read. So if this is the option for you, just go for it. It's easy to listen and the narrator is good. So you should definitely read it. It's a 4-hour audiobook. Like, it's something that you could read in a day, be done with it, but also be changed by it. So it's really nice. Now, let's talk about the project that I am working on. Today is Monday. It's Easter Monday. Therefore, I have the entire day for myself. I'm not going to work today, but I'm going to the creative room. And we are going to be working on 2 projects. Maybe a third one, we don't know. Let's not be too ambitious, because otherwise I'm going to procrastinate. So I have this canvas that I have finished, and so I want to close it really nicely and put it in a little... I have this space on my wall that is blank, and that is the perfect space to have just this gallery of canvases. So I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna put a little... I forgot the word for it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I forgot what the word is, but I don't care about that. And then I'm gonna do some crochet coasters, because my problem is, and that is a terrible problem, like really, it is the most problematic of all problems of all time. Like I don't know how I'm living with this problem. My problem is that I like to have seasonal decor. I don't like to buy it, so I have to make it. But I don't make it quickly enough for us to have seasonal decor. That's the problem. So I had like 3 or 4 items for autumn, but it's not autumn anymore, so I can't have a pumpkin coaster on our desk. It's not possible. It's not, okay? You see my problem? So I have to create an Easter and spring coaster, and I had to make at least 3, maybe more, I don't know. So we're gonna do that today. We're gonna finish the canvas, and then we're gonna work on the spring coaster. I have found a tutorial for this, so it's gonna be a beautiful flower. Yep. So I'm pumped. Let's go. Let's do this. Going to start working on this week's sewing project, and we are going to do my pajama pattern by another tailor. I have actually done the top of the pajama already with another fabric, and now I am going to work on this pattern with this fabric. We have this very beautiful pink that is a very soft material, and so I think it will be quite comfortable. So I am going to do this part and this part with this pink. And then I have, let me show you properly, okay. And then I have this one, this fabric. It's a cotton, so it's not as comfortable as this one, but it is beautiful. And when I bought this fabric 2 years ago, it was supposed to be a skirt. It did not happen. Now it's gonna be a PJ. My only issue is that I have never worked with this kind of material, so I have no idea how well I will be able to work with this. This is cotton, it's easy, but I guess that tonight's challenge is going to be to cut the fabric and to start sewing to see if it is something that I can work with. So yeah, it's quite late. It's almost 9 p.m. So if I can cut the fabric, that would be quite nice already. And if I can just do the first few steps, that would be amazing, but I'm not counting on that too much. Okay, so I'm working with my machine to understand how to be able to sew this fabric, and well, I have multiple issues. The first one being, what is this? Oh, sorry. What is this? Like, the beginning of the process is just terrible. And then, I don't know for what reason, it is kind of like skipping stitches. Like, what is that? Why are we having this? So, fortunately, I did not begin the sewing on the proper material, like the cut one. I'm trying to use this as a test. But it's not going so well. I'm just trying to understand what is the proper setting, and if I find it and if I understand how to work with this fabric, I will probably do the whole set, the whole pajama set, only with this, because it is such a soft fabric that I can totally see myself wearing that all night. Whereas with the cotton, I feel like maybe it would not be as comfortable, and then it would be like itching or something. So I don't really want to put time and effort and money, because like the material is not free, on a project that I might not end up wearing. So I am going to figure out how to sew this very cute pink fabric. I know how to sew this fabric without having problems. The issue came from the needle, from the machine. I don't know why. I read somewhere that you're supposed to change the needle of your machine every project. And that information clicked on my brain the moment I turned the machine on. I was like, ooh, I have never changed this. Maybe it's going to be a problem, but we'll see. And then I have this, and then I'm like, oh, let's try changing the needle. I'm doing it. Problem fixed. Am I a genie? I don't know. I think I have extremely good gut instincts for sewing. I'm not going to say for life, because clearly not. But maybe I have good gut instincts for sewing. And that was the reason why we had this problem. It only took me 5 minutes. So I'm gonna do my little thing to clean the glasses, because I want to overlock with the zigzag stitch, and then we're gonna work on the pajama. I got so lucky, because look at what is left of the fabric once I have cut everything. I got just barely enough. That is a miracle. It's Thursday today. I didn't update you yesterday, but I did a lot of sewing, and I actually managed to sew a little bit of the top. That being said, yesterday I also finished the audiobook We Speak Through the Mountains by Premi Mohammed, and that was an amazing book. I enjoyed the first one, but it was not like a, oh my god, that was such an amazing book, I will definitely be reading the next book in the series. It was more like it was okay. It explores interesting themes, so I might maybe be continuing the series. But let me tell you, you have to continue the series if you're reading the first book, because the second one is such an interesting one. It's leaning into the whole dystopian vibes of the stories. Like, think Hunger Games and the division between like the capital and the districts. Think, I'm gonna say, every dystopian novel when you have people having a little bit of power and a whole lot of other people having zero power at all, except it's not about power, it's more about knowledge and resources. And that was such an interesting take, because unlike the Hunger Games, unlike all of these very dystopian books where one part of the population has a lot of power, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't necessarily keep it knowingly. They're like, well, they had time to figure things out, so why wouldn't have them, you know? Like, if we did it, they probably did it as well, so we're not going to share anything because, like, it's knowledge. So, and I thought that is such an interesting take. This is really something that is so actual, and that was really interesting to read about this. And the fact that it was an audiobook and not a physical book actually made it a bit so much better, because the narrator is really good. And she is narrating the whole story so well that you can feel both the sadness and the anger of the main character. And that was so interesting, because the way it is narrated, the way it is written, but with the voice acting on top of it, you really have this feeling that she is angry, but it is not anger as just waking up someday and being mad at the situation. It's just an anger that is fed by so much sadness and so many losses, and a deep understanding that it is not fair, but it could have been. And that was so nice to read. So I gave it a 4 stars. I might maybe be giving it a little more, but I deeply enjoyed it, and I will definitely be listening to the next one in the series. And it is probably a series that I will get physically, because it was that good, and I really want to have them on my shelves so that if I read something that is similar, I will be able to get back to it. Speaking of audiobook, I'm also listening to the first book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. Once again, the voice acting is so good. And I have zero idea if this is the kind of book that I like, but I have listened to a whole hour and I'm really into it, and it is so easy to listen to. It's captivating, and nothing has happened yet, and I'm really into it. So that is nice. the end of the week, and we have managed to finish 4 projects. We have done the sewing pattern that are now in fabric and not in paper anymore. We have the canvas, the first frame in this whole wall of canvases frames. So it is the beginning of a great project. We also finished the flower coasters, and I'm really happy on how they turned out. And we made the pajama top. So a very productive week. I also am happy to report that I am halfway through Skullduggery Pleasant, and that this is a great book. I am thoroughly enjoying it. It is a great audiobook with an amazing narrator, and the story is very compelling, and I am really, every time that I stop, I'm looking forward to listening to it again. So great book. Yeah, that was a great week. I am happy with what I did. I thank you for being here. I hope that you have worked on some great projects. If you have a great suggestion in mind, I would be happy to hear that. And thank you for being here. I will definitely see you in the next video. Goodbye.